Guys, let's roll. I like this story for a couple of reasons. One, it brought back memories of an office party I was at. And two, it's the police eating each other. They don't have comradeship. They, they would sell their own grandmother to get promoted. They will stamp on their friends if they see an advantage for them in being able to climb the promotion ladder. First, let me tell you about why I stopped going to office parties in my long life as an IT contractor, from team leader to project manager. I was on contract for the post office in Bristol. The year 2000 was coming. Remember the millennium bug, when the world was going to end? I was a key person in the company. And the office party came. As I said, it was in Bristol, so I drove over the bridge. I was booked into an hotel. I arrived at the party. Not long after there, I was having a pint with a couple of the guys, and one of the girls, pretty little thing, came over, stood on my right, a chap on my left, and a chap I was speaking to. And they were English, and they said something, and they said about the Welsh coming over the bridge and working in Bristol, and they said, "Why do you do it, Paul?" And I took this pint out of his hand, and I said, the Welsh, I said, like to come over the bridge, drink your beer and kiss your women. I took a swig of his pint, turned to my right, and kissed this little girl on the top of her head. Well, I say a girl, she was in her early 20s. And everybody laughed. Well, come Monday, I had a call into the manager's office, or if you like, the project manager, or wherever he was quite senior. I'd just been promoted to team leader. And he said, "I've had a complaint about your behaviour at the office party." And I said, "Really?" I thought, because I didn't think I drunk that much. I hadn't hit anyone. You know, I've done that in the past, but not on this occasion. I thought we'd all had a jolly good time. And he said, yes. He said, it was inappropriate of you to kiss what's her name. I said, well, I didn't actually kiss her. I said, I kissed her on the top of her head. She's only 4'5", something like that. And he said, and you drank so-and-so's beer. And I burst out laughing. And he said, this is serious. I said, it might be serious to you, I said, but it's not serious to me. I said, what do you want me to do, quit? I said, because I'm quite prepared to walk out through that door now. No, Paul, no need for that at all. I'm just saying, it was inappropriate. I said, well, we'll have to disagree on that. I said, it was an office party. But after that, I learned a lesson. Office parties are dangerous places to go. There are people out there who can use it to cut your throat, the same way they cut the throat of this young woman here that you see on my right, Pamela Pritchard. What did she do at the office party? Police officer said, I want to F you, then got arrested for groping. Fine, I wish she'd been at the office party in Bristol. She wouldn't have had to ask me twice. I would have said no, politely, of course, being married. But, yeah. But what I find hilarious about this is the reactions of the police officer. She was arrested for groping other colleagues, Urine was told. Now, take into account, as it says here, a rugby club in Carnarvon. What do you expect at a rugby club in Carnarvon, for God's sake? She also tried to kiss an inspector. Right. Now, the first thing is, if this police officer, this woman was that obviously that drunk, then that inspector should have ensured her safety and had her taken out of the party immediately and either taken to hospital where she could be monitored through the night. So many people during my time in the Navy would die because they literally choked on their own vomit. Lots of sailors died that way. I'm surprised I didn't die that way. But that's what that inspector should have done. He should be the one facing inquiry, not that woman. Now, the conduct of the police who were there, PC Cyan Jarvis said she was slurring her words and her eyes were glazed over. I started to converse with Pam in a friendly manner when she said the words, I want to F you. You knew she was drunk and you didn't help her. He's obviously gay because he refused, and so Pam called him a prick. She apologised to Mr. Jarvis and Inspector Gareth Perry for trying to kiss him and said she had no recollection of her events. Do you know, I once woke up back on board ship, totally unaware that I'd been to hospital and had my stomach pumped. I was in Penang. Interesting days. Ah, well, she was left suicidal. Well, yes, she's lost her job over this because of her backstabbing, treasonous so-called colleagues. Absolutely no need for any of this, was there? She said CCTV showed a consensual kiss, so there was a camera there, it was all being recorded. So some guy, obviously not a gay guy, like the one who said no, he consented to a kiss, and it showed that she was very clearly intoxicated when she tried to kiss the inspector. She recognised her behaviour was inappropriate. She was out of her skull. I'm not making excuses that way. I'm not that person. I don't recognise myself on that CCTV. We've all done things that we regret when we're drunk. Oof. I can remember being in Elston in Cornwall, waking up in the Wren's quarters. And I took one look and I threw up over the side of the bed. I never lived that down, guys. I never lived that down. Oh dear. God, these cops, huh? How fragile, how fragile are they, really? And we expect them to defend us, and they can't take a bit of a joke. Oh, listen to this. This is, I don't know what PC this is, but he's a bigger prick than the other one. She grabbed me below the belt and put her hand on my genitals. To no extent was it appropriate. I felt kind of humiliated at that point. Toughen up, man. Oh, and she sat on his knee. That must have been horrendous. I would have asked her for a lap dance. The behaviour was becoming more and more unacceptable. You should have took her out then. You attempted to kiss another colleague, causing him to pull away from you. This was unsolicited and oh, God. Anyhow, guys, what's the moral of this story? If you're a cop, well, you already know it. You're a bunch of backstabbing bastards, aren't you? I bet you're all gloating over this. Yeah. And as for you guys watching this, don't go to office parties. Really, don't. They're just not worth it. Okay, guys, you've been listening to the Green Arrow. See you on the next one.